Imagine sailing an endless ocean of sand for weeks, the sun bearing down on you, supplies running low, your mount looking weary, and in the distance, an oasis, lush trees and refreshing water. This is the life of the Oumaji, the square's unrivaled masters of desert survival and animal husbandry. The Sui desert wasn't always so bleak. There were once rivers and marshes among the sandy dunes, enough to build a grand civilization around. After the fall of the ancients, the early ancestors of the Oumaji migrated this way, toward a desert that, back then, still held promise. As Polytopians tend to do, these early Oumaji formed small clans and warred with each other for the few resources which did still exist. Eventually, a regional warlord known as Mubehasi gained the moniker the Undefeated after a successful military campaign over the other Oumaji clans, placing themselves at the top of a new Oumaji empire. The desert-dwelling people thrived under their leadership, as they ushered in a golden age marked by towering monuments, sweeping reforms, and full bellies. But over time, like all things, this golden age was not meant to last. Mubehasi died. The throne got passed around to various heirs and warlords. The desert became more brutal, and the once great kingdom collapsed and dispersed, falling to ruin. The rivers dried up, the marshes turned to sand, and the dunes grew even higher. This brought the Oumaji to a life of nomadism just to survive, building camps and small settlements near oases and what few resources they could find. Although, this collapse hasn't diminished the legacy of Mubehasi the Undefeated, as they're still considered a near-mythical hero of the Oumaji, and their final resting place, the mausoleum at Ojibake, is considered a sacred site to this day. The domestication of the Shebron ultimately allowed early Oumaji to survive, and that culture of husbandry serves as a focal point for their society. Shebrons are temperamental creatures that can cross the dunes faster than anything else on the square, rivaling that of even cuckoo-leoons. And that speed has given the Oumaji a penchant for hit-and-run tactics using their mighty cavalry. Shebrons are also good at finding sources of water, which is where they tend to congregate. Thirsty? Just follow a Shebron. These striped companions are integral to the life of every Oumaji, so much so that nearly all are hatched in the saddle and taught to live among Shebrons from a very early age. The desert hasn't gotten any easier to live in, but the modern Oumaji are a hardy and resourceful people who have adapted to their climate. While most Oumaji are nomads, they do have larger settlements that serve as trade hubs, meeting grounds, and regional capitals. Life among the dunes is difficult, and this shared hardship has forged a tight-knit culture of community and cooperation. Although generally friendly, the Oumaji are a reserved people, more focused on survival than diplomacy. Still, they share a natural kinship with the Yadak, another nomadic tribe that understands the rhythm of migratory life. While not much grows in the Sui desert, Saja cacti are plentiful, and they're full of water and nutrients. Ground up, juiced, mashed, cooked, or eaten raw, Saja allow the Oumaji to survive out in the wastes, and many settlements without access to an oasis rely on huge groves of Saja. Not as fancy, maybe, but hey, keeps you alive. As we mentioned earlier, Shebrons tend to congregate near oases. And every year, prestigious Oumaji scouts are sent to these meeting spots to find suitable mounts. The annual Sialu ceremony is how Oumaji choose new Shebrons to ride, either to function as their first mount, or to replace ones lost in battle. Besides just using Shebrons as mounts for their military, Shebron-backed town criers are a common sight in Oumaji settlements. Known as the Onjimu Riders, they are tasked with sharing news and announcements to the Oumaji people through song or poetry. Many settlements will host competitions between their Anjimu riders, and town crying has become a sport with its own regional variants. And no discussion about the Oumaji would be complete without a mention of Hamu. Hamu refers to a group of people, or where a group of people may meet up, in any capacity. Armies, families, markets, town halls, and even the entire Polytopian population on the planet can be reduced to Hamu. A post-collapse civil war, known as the Battle of Limdor Dunes, determined that a Hamu must be at least 5 people. But there's no upper limit to who or what can be a Hamu. Wherever people gather, there is Hamu. Remember Mubehasi? They had a personal honor guard of highly trained soldiers known as the Condor, who functioned as their bodyguards, elite troops, law enforcement, and many other roles. After Mubehasi's death, the Khondor Honor Guards slowly faded into the background, becoming a more secret order tasked with ensuring the Emperor's will be enacted long after their passing. As we know, this empire crumbled, but this hasn't deterred the Condor from trying to revive the old ways. In the present day, the Condor have resurfaced with a goal: to corral the wayward Umagi back to the splendor and glory of Mubehasi's glorious empire. They're not nearly as interested in the square-wide conflict as other Polytopian groups are, as they see the other tribes as little more than distractions towards their main task, reforming the Umagi in Mubehasi's image. Of course, as you've probably already figured out, the old empire of Mubehasi collapsed due to resource shortages and changing climates. The desert can't support an empire like that again, but the Condor are too blinded by nostalgia to see it. And even if they did, the ancient empire would be considered quite backwards culturally, as the Umagi have a perfectly fine, flourishing culture which fits their new circumstances. Yes, Mubehasi brought stability, progress, and splendor to the Umagi of their time, but they also brought with them indentured servitude, caste systems, draconian punishments for dissenters, and many other things that modern Umagi would like to leave in the past. Pivoting away from their motivations and towards their tools, the Condor are known for eschewing Shebrons for the flexible Sphelix, a big feline creature. While maybe not as speedy or as hard-working as the Shebron, Sphelix cats are emblematic of Mubehasi and their ancient empire. Flags, banners, and so forth were often adorned with images of Sphelix, and the Condor used them as a way to strike fear and respect back into the Umagi. The Condor are often seen wearing large masks to hide their identities, and using weapons like kopeshes, staves, and rounded shields, all ornately decorated. They have also reverted to using architecture styles from the Old Age, integrating plenty of gold into their houses and monuments. After all, if they're going to revive the Old Kingdom, they've got to lead by example, right? From Shebron riders to Sphelix fanatics, the desert holds many stories. But for the Umagi, it's not the sand that defines them, it's how they move through it. Remember, may your mounts be swift, your cacti nourishing, and your oases never dry.